isn't. Maybe this isn't right.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Giga here, and welcome to my first Overwatch guide video. And in this video, I'll be creating a guide video for those who really want to play good with Roadhog. Now, to get into things, Roadhog is one of the best tanks in the game because he isn't really a tank. He can do a lot of damage, which turns him into more of a DPS / tank hero. He can also self-heal. He's effectively at DPS with a lot more health, but moves slower. But sometimes I think people struggle with who they should be hooking exactly, and what their main targets are. Now, he can hook anyone in the game, but there's no such thing really as a bad hook. So that's something you want to do. If you hook someone and kill them, that's good, but if you hook a tank, generally that's not a great idea because you won't be able to one-shot them. But if you hook a diva towards you, you'll be able to get a one-shot out of her when she's disturbed or not. One thing I really want to say is that currently Roadhog is in very good shape and matter because he's been reviewed so often. Aside from this, the targets you really want to be going for are the healers and the squishy characters. So if you want to be going for the Zenyatas and the Lucios and the Mercies, because if you hook Lucio, he can't drop the beat, and 2, he can't heal his whole team at the same exact time. So as soon as he's out of the equation, the enemy team will already have a tough time dealing without a Lucio, because Lucio is a very important essential healer to have on your team. So what else can Roadhog be useful for? Well, he's almost like a counter hero to Genji and Tracer. So say these two characters are really harassing your back line and your healers are really struggling. Well, the good news is that if you can get really good with Roadhog, he's exceptionally good at hooking them. Now, it is more difficult, of course, to hit Tracer and Genji because, again, they move much faster and are much harder to hit than any other heroes. But he's one of the best counters for these two characters along with Winston. I will mention again, these aren't the only targets you should get, because he can also be very effective for killing anyone in one shot. Now, the ones I would say to try to stay away are heroes like Reaper and another Roadhog. And the reason behind that is because why I put in Roadhog is simply because he can hook you after you hooked him and to do more damage, and it never feels like it's a fair trade-off. Sometimes you seem to win if you hook him first, and other times he seems to get away with it and doing the damage first and hook you and finish you off with one blow. And it's a bit of a dodgy fight, and I think that you should be careful with. Now, Mei is a problem in most 1v1 situations when you hook him, her, and kill her off very easily. But if you don't do it perfectly, she may bring up an ice barrier to protect herself, she'll use a wall, or simply just freeze you or kill you with 1 or 2 shots in your head. Reaper is probably Roadhog's main threat for 2 different reasons. The first case is when you hook Reaper, but he doesn't fully get hooked in and may escape or do massive damage, and you may possibly end up dying. The second reason to avoid Reaper is because he shares a common weapon trait with Roadhog, where if you get too close to him, he can possibly 1 or 2 shot you in the head, similar to the traits that Roadhog's scrap gun has. Now, the other person you want to be careful of is Pharah. Now, Pharah is very good against Roadhog because she can keep her distance away from taking devastating damage from Roadhog's close-range scrap gun, especially his hook. This gives Pharah a good chance of killing you with her rocket launcher, and again, due to the distance between you two, using Roadhog's scrap gun isn't really an effective way of doing damage. It won't lead you anywhere, to be honest. Speaking of doing ultimates, one thing Roadhog's hook is very good for, and another thing you should be targeting are any characters in the game that are using their ultimate. But of course, there are always ultimates that are also impossible to stop, like Junkrat's firing a hole or Mei's ultimate, because it has already happened and it's like natural and you can't stop it. And Mei does not have to be part of the animation to do her ultimate. This way you cannot kill or stop her ultimate from happening. And that's one of the huge things you want to do as Roadhog. For example, if you see a Genji using his ultimate, the first thing you would always want to do is to hook him and then one-shot him, and that saves a whole lot for your team. This is why Roadhog's hook is so important when it comes to stopping enemies from using their ultimate. Also, one last thing. If you don't know who to hook first when you see a huge group of enemies, always try to hook the person who does the most DPS, or the person again who is going to use their ultimate. That's pretty much all of the tips you need to know when using Roadhog. Just be aware of the heroes that are a threat to Roadhog, like Pharah, Mei, and another Roadhog especially, and you're pretty much all set. If I'm missing anything, make sure to comment down below under the comment section below. Be sure to remember to drop a like and subscribe down below. And if you guys enjoyed, and have a great day as always, take care, peace out.